everybody. Welcome to another Star Wars CCG stream. This is Game 2 of the Corona Cup Finals. It is a team event that has 3 different types of decks being played. This match is the open match, meaning all decks, all cards are tournament legal. And so game 1 just finished. You can watch the replay over at twitch.tv/swccgpc. And Bastian won. However, this he won by 17, I think. This is not traditional match play, where now Mighty Maul needs to win by more than that. For this team event, every game is worth 1 point. So Bastian scored a point for his team. If Mighty Maul wins this, he scores a point for his team. And then there will be 2 points in the Jawa Cup game up for grabs, and 2 points, 1 per game, in the virtual reality match as well. So 6 total points between them. And if a team gets more points, they win. If at the end it is tied 3-3, then we will have then it will go to differential. So differential matters for every game, but not to win the individual match, just the cumulative. Count all the differentials from all 6 games, add them up, see who has the most diff. So you do still need to, you can't concede game 2, even though you lost game 1. You do still want to get as much diff as possible, but you mostly want to win and score a point for your team. So looking at this match, we have Mighty Maul at the bottom of your screen. He's the light side player playing the Legend objective. He does a very standard Star Wars strike planning, Brave Resistance, and Walkling. Bastian Zlorfik is the ISB player at the top of your screen. ISB took a hit recently with slip sliding away, being errataed to, I guess the slip isn't updated, or maybe it's just not updated on mine. It no longer works with the ISB 2.0 site. And so Bastian opted to just continue playing ISB and switch the 2.0 start to a 2.1 start. It's not as good, obviously, for a couple reasons. 1, giving up an icon. 2, giving up a battleground. 3, the 2.0 site was pretty great in that if you put Moff Gideon there, all your Imperials deployed -1 to sites everywhere. And that can be a huge boon if you're playing a lot of characters. That can save you, 3 to 5 force a turn. On a key, especially on a key big battle turn. So losing that ability is big too. That will definitely knock ISB down some, but Bastian still decided ISB is the deck he wanted to go with for this matchup. He's starting Arrest Order to pull Docking Bays, and he pulls the Executor Docking Bay with that. Quat Drive Yards Virtual to pull Systems, which he pulls Mustafar, which will itself pull the Castle 2.0 site, and while he's digging in there to get the castle, he's checking what else is in reserve. And then he starts Enforcement to redraw Imperials into hand and retrieve when he wins a battle. So first turn, Bastian just pulls his Docking Bay, pulls the system pulls the site, and he'll probably draw a couple. And meanwhile, we had Mighty Maul play a Rescue in the Clouds to peek at some cards and choose one. As far as this matchup, it will very much depend on what their builds are. Pre-errata, it could really go either way. A lot came down to who could win space. If Dark could really pile space with good stuff and limit Light's destinies because of Poe and Holdo and Leadership and Finn and Destiny Adder and stuff. If Dark had a way, either found Justice or had commands or something like that to really limit Light's destinies, they could massively outpower with a couple Star Destroyers and follow around with Stalker and win space and shut off Menace Fades. Menace Fades being a key card. If Light controls a battleground site and system, it turns off Dark's Force Stream bonuses, which is one of the big things on the flip side of the ISB objective. So Dark could follow around with Stalker and shut off Menace Fades and pile up a bunch of stuff and sort of win space. If Dark couldn't find Destiny limiters and Light was able to just go ham and draw a bunch of Destiny and clear out a bunch of stuff and take over space, ISB struggles to pay for its drains. And Legend also doesn't give ISB any sites to go wide to. They typically play one battleground site, one battleground system, and then some Jakku sites. Or Octo, not Jakku, Octo sites. And that's hard because then ISB has no other locations to go invade. So, yeah, I think we're going to see... we're going to see Light set up at a site with Rose and some guys and BB-8 and trying to get some damage in. And we'll see if sometimes there's big battles on the ground and sometimes there's avoiding and Odin comboing or Lana comboing to move away. We'll see how the ground battle plays out. Mighty Maul just uses his objective to grab the 2-0 site, and if Luke is in there, he will likely go ahead and grab out Luke using the text on the saddle site. Mighty Maul just plays a free ride combo to cycle it. It's not going to do anything in this matchup. Would have stopped at Occupation if Bastian had played Watto. I imagine that's why that's in there. And but for now, it's just a used 5 that he's going to go ahead and just get back in the deck. Maybe he can draw it for a Destiny. That way he can draw one more card. He wants to keep his hand size at 12 in case Bastian plays Monarch. One interesting thing. So Luke wasn't in there. He might have been drawing for Luke, but still didn't want to go above 12. Luke wasn't in reserve. He did not pull it with saddle. One other interesting thing is he didn't do a Brave Resistance pull. He pulled General Leia with strike planning, but he never put her down. And that's that's kind of interesting because you can pull her a second time. So with strike planning, so a lot of times you put her down to take a free, EPP Ray or Finn or whatever you need early on, and then just pull her again. I'm kind of surprised he did not use Brave Resistance that turn. Sebastian's got a healthy number of force. He's got 17 because he had saved 4, which is, it's a little weird that he saved 4 when he's only got 7 in hand, that he didn't draw up to, 9, 10, 11 cards. I'm not sure what exactly his plan was there, because I think this turn he's probably mostly going to be drawing. Maybe he just has a Star Destroyer and some guys, and he wanted to make sure he had enough force to get that out next turn. Another interesting thing about this is Light Side Legend usually starts the Maz Castle site against ISB, because doesn't want to necessarily give up another Battleground system. They a lot of times are hoping to just take over the dark side systems and just have one system on table. So Legend starting the Jakku system over the Maz Castle site is interesting. Maybe he just saw this Battleground and knew with slip sliding there would be a second one. It's like, hey, there's going to be enough Battlegrounds on table. It's fine. I'll go ahead and do my system. But I'm not sure about that. This does not have relevant text for ISB. So Gideon also got a minor tweak. He deploys a stormtrooper for -2. It used to be -3, and it used to be anywhere, and now it only goes to Gideon's location when he's deployed. So instead of -3 anywhere, it's -2 to his site, which was, I think, a pretty good tweak. I'm imagining Bastian's going to pull out a Stormtrooper patrol here. Essentially another ISB. He could pull the indoor ISB guy that's a trooper, whatever his name is. He does do the patrol. Essentially, he wants to have another ISB agent out. He wants to get 4 and flip. So using Gideon to essentially grab a second ISB agent is helpful for him. And since he's going down, I'm guessing... Ooh. I was going to say, I'm guessing he'll pile 4 guys, flip, and draw some. Maybe a Lieutenant Pole and then Colonel Wolf will come down to activate 4 more, and then he'll have some forfeit fodder on there. That's Tarl. That might be the Stormtrooper that's has Rebel and lore and game text. That's the indoor trooper I was trying to remember the name of. I think Colonel Wolf right now is going to come down on Stalker so that Bastian can activate 4 force and flip. Yep, there it is. Notice that he goes to Mustafar, even though Jakku's a bigger drain. likely, well, for two reasons. One, Imperial Starships deploy +1. He would have had to pay an extra force that he didn't have at that point. And two, Poe deploys -1 there. So he didn't want to risk having Poe coming down for slightly cheaper and that giving Maul more force. Bastian is down to 2. I don't like how aggressive this turn 2 was, because Bastian's down to 2 cards in hand. And yeah, he's going to draw some, but he'll be at a max of 6 cards. And he has established a sight and system, but either of those could be cleared quite easily with no justice on table. Okay, Tarkin's good. Tarkin's going to redraw 5 cards into Bastian's hand. Putting Tarkin there is interesting because he doesn't have a second ISB agent to do his cancel. But he's probably thinking if light comes down, Colonel Wolf will cover the 7 +2 with arrest order, and then I can drop another couple ISB agents with Tarkin. What I was going to say is if light has any ship, Poe and Finn, and that's why I was saying Brave Resistance last turn would have been good, because he could have had one of those in hand already. Maybe he already does, but Poe and Finn and the Destiny Adder, like, he could come down and just clear that pretty easily if he's got Rey, and there's multiple different ways he could get cleared, but that extra fodder on the Stalker helps, and Tarkin drawing him 5 cards for free, Colonel Wolf activating 4 cards for free. The text on a lot of these guys is just insane. It's this guy costs -2 force essentially. This guy cancels destinies and draws cards into your hand. This guy downloads a trooper like Poltreatum, draws 1 when he's played and draws 1 when he dies, so he more than pays for himself. I don't know. There's just and subtracts 3 from attrition and stops double agent. Oh, Bastian says not a perfect start. Ozzel is in use pile. Wink face. So apparently he has a command that he could have. If Ozzel is then why wouldn't he have played the command before activating? I don't know. I don't know how else he would have got out Ozzel though. But if he had a command to pull Ozzel and put that on the Stalker as well, then that would have been Tarkin could have done his thing. However, Death Squadron, not command. Death Squadron, of course. Okay, so Tarkin drew the Death Squadron into hand. That's why he couldn't play it before activating. And Ozzel was not in the reserve to be able to use it. If Ozzel had been in the reserve, he'd drop it on Stalker 2, and then Tarkin would have 2 agents to be able to cancel a Destiny up in space. But either way, he grabs Ozzel now, and yeah, Bastian's got 6 cards in hand. He's activating 13. He's satisfying battle plan. He's got a very aggressive start, and Light got set back a little bit by not having that Luke out, by activating his Luke. So yeah, I thought it was too aggressive when I saw that he just had 2 cards in hand, but then one of them turned out to be Tarkin. I think that all was a great play. Colonel Wolf activating 4, which is exactly what you need for Tarkin, putting you down to 1, drawing 5 more. Yeah. Justin thinks it was pretty aggressive, but his opponent might be cautious. So, yeah. Not having the Luke out, meaning you're not going to get a flip in, is annoying. And he is using Legend. It doesn't say to get a location, so... Oh, he does. Okay, I was wondering if he was doing the force pile pull. But he goes for a location. There is not one in there. Clearly, there would be a Maz's Castle site in the deck, and probably an extra Octo site. So must have activated both those, or has at least one in his hand. That's unfortunate start for Mighty Maul. He's gotten some bad stuff on activating cards he needs to be in reserve to pull. Is the game on private on Jump? I don't know. see if I can figure that out. I don't think so, because then I wouldn't be able to see it. Yeah, Corona Cup final. No, it's not private. I don't think, and private games aren't enabled right now. And no one can go in except those two, not commentators or admins or anyone on the private games. So, yeah. Yularen, Callus, Pol, Tarkin, Vandalay, were any of these guys in Legacy or just guys who are similar? They were, a lot of them were in Legacy. I think Poltreatum was. Tarkin was not. Callus was not. I think Yularen and Vandalay were. Maybe no. Yeah, Yularen set 1, so he was in Legacy but tweaked. So set 0, if you don't know, is just Legacy cards copied straight over. They did not get any changes. They survived the reset. Virtual 1 came out essentially at the same time as V0, and they were Legacy cards, but they got tweaked, and so they were all put into a V1. And then Virtual Set 2 was the first actual designed set post-reset. So you can always look at a virtual card number and see, oh, Tarkin was Virtual 4, he was not there. Or maybe, there could have been some similar version. But so, Mighty Maul spends all his force to drop Obi and Qui-Gon and battle. And Bastian plays a Trooper Assault to add 4 extra power and make his troopers immune. And then Mighty Maul, I think, is probably just going to hit both troopers since they're immune, and then kill Gideon with attrition, and he will lose. You probably go ahead and choose to lose Obi because Qui-Gon's giving you an icon and is 1 more power. So, yep, he does swing at both troopers. He does hit both troopers. I guess we'll see. If there was a Lana Doe breed, he probably would have used it here because he's forfeit 5 and the patrol's only 4. So no Lana. That will clear the site for dark and lose Obi for light. Which, okay. I mean, fine, you cleared the site. Dark would have to pay 3 to drain 1 in space, which Bastion's not going to. So it saved you some lost cards and drains. And you got to do something, right? But the problem with this play is you clear it all out. Dark just goes over here now, and you're stuck at a drain 1 site. You've burned 2 EPPs and your whole second turn. Luke's still not out. Now, Luke was probably in one of those bottom 4 of his force pile that he didn't want to draw above 12. So he's kind of happy spending that force to be able to get Luke out next turn. But right now we are looking, and he might have resilience in hand to get that Obi back. But right now we are looking at, yeah, he does. We'll see if Bastian has cold feet. As a response, he does not. So Obi's back to hand. Apparently you can't click to watch. You have to have the commentator. All games have watch games except this one. So it's not private, Dylan, because he would have had to put his name in and it would be showing private. It's just the maybe the way this league was set up that it doesn't have viewers. I thought in the last game though there was like 8 people in the game watching it. So I don't know why this game would be different than the last game they just played, a half hour ago. I don't know, that's weird. Yeah, it seems like the permissions for this, like the Texas Mini World match play games, were set up only commentators can see them, like pod games. Yeah, I don't know why you can't see. Yeah, Dylan said the game before I was able to watch, so it doesn't seem like the league is set up that way. And Bastion didn't make this a private game. Private games are not enabled right now, so I don't know how this one is not viewable, watchable for non-commentators. Yeah. Open Series 1. Could not tell you. Oh, CRG says the other game wasn't in the league. Apparently they started the game as an open game last time and just put the label, and this time they actually started it in the league, and so that's why you could see it last game and not this. What Joe said about the position light side is in is correct. Desai says the issue is that Bastian could have had the same exact situation and not have 3 dead guys and had a hand of 12. True. But Bastion's going to retrieve some of those guys with Empire Sinister agents. I guess not. Simple Tricks is pulled unless Bastion goes down to a site, which then Light would clear again with Obi. Yeah, I mean, it set Light back a turn doing a couple EPPs, and it set Dark back a turn getting cleared from a site. And now Dark's just going to go ahead and play Ozzel there to get the second ISB agent, reinforce that space, and then just draw some. Light's not going to bother paying to drain, so Light will pull Luke. And then it'll be interesting to see how the ground game develops. I imagine Dark will go over here. ISB builds like the one Bastion is playing. Obviously, we haven't really seen him post errata, where you've got the different site, and so you're not going Giddy. You're probably not playing 3 Gideons anymore, right? You maybe have 2 just because he's pretty good to pull a trooper and draws on his own and stuff. But otherwise, you might even only have 1. I don't know. But in earlier builds like this before the errata, they typically didn't have any good ways to deal with weapons, and that was one of the best ways to kind of chew through the dark side's guys is if you could get multiple weapons. If you had 2 sabers and Alea's blaster, and you can just start picking off a bunch of guys. So yeah, killing 3 guys, it's nice. Bastion drew up to a hand of 12, and he's saving 5, so he'll be able to come down and do something. Yeah. Justin says going soft for dark side didn't help him that much. Setting up, there was no need to essentially set up that quickly and risk getting cleared at either location. And that's what I was saying. He could clear him in space. He could clear him on the ground. And then he played the Tarkin, and I was like, all right, maybe you can't clear him in space, but he still was able to then just clear him on the ground. Oh, there's no battle order. That's funny. So Dark did drain it Mustafar. When I was trying to figure out the private permissions thing, Dark drained at Mustafar and got a rose, I'm assuming, from a top deck. Yeah, top deck. And then Mighty Maul said, oh, geez, or something like that. I don't know. I don't speak German, but looks close enough. He says, Echt Jets. I'm sure that was pronounced perfectly. And then still no battle order pulled, so Light trains for 1, which Dark cancels with strategic. And Light is now going to pull a location with its objective, so probably, yep, there's an Octo site. It's either going to be that or the Mass Castle site, and that will let Bastion pull a shield. It's the anti-Black Sun objective. If Luke's there or out of play, you don't lose to the Black Sun ping. And I think Bastion, there's no firepower shield anymore. I don't know. He doesn't want battle plan yet. So just code clearance for Jedi Lev probably. That way he can't Jedi Lev all game because it would shut off Rose retrieval and General Leia retrieval. I think code clearance is probably the best call here. Justin said, is this the World's 2020 finals? The decks seem about right. It does seem that ISB and Legend will still be quite good post set. I'm excited to try some V13 stuff though. I really like I think the Kessel Run stuff is not very good. I don't know if the playtesters came back and said, yeah, this is decent, or if they actually had data. I haven't played any games with it, so this is just my first impression reading the cards. Kessel Run just doesn't seem worth it to me. I kind of hope they buff that a little bit so that it does, because it's kind of a iconic thing in Star Wars. But I'm excited about Corellia. I'm excited about Watch Your Step again. I like Watch Your Step as a deck. I think it's good for the meta. It's a balanced deck. It's on the ground. It's in space. it's not a stack site. It's not a stack stuff like this. Watch Your Step is rarely gonna stack hard. They might stack Kessel, but then you still have Tatooine to go to if they do that. Like, they have to give you multiple battlegrounds, often which are a liability, either the Cantina or Tatooine or the Lars farm, or Corellia now. So I think Watch Your Step is a very fair deck, and I think it's fun. It offers a lot of options with the Lost Pal stuff, and so I'm excited. Watch Your Step got some help. I'm excited about the Corellia. I don't see Han as that good. I don't see the Kessel Run stuff being worth it, but it got some more scrub smugglers that are just like, all right, I can play that over a Ralter Freighter Captain or whatever. So that's kind of nice. I'm mostly excited about the Corellia and Step getting at least a little bit of help. Yeah, I know they're reworking some things based on feedback. And of course, a lot of feedback when you first get it is like, hey, this seems overpowered, but I don't know if they're taking feedback also about like, hey, this seems underpowered. But yeah, Kessel Run, I don't know. What else am I excited about? Blasters are going to be interesting. And I think weapons in general, with no idea with the nerf to that, I think we're going to see a lot more dark side lightsabers and weapons and stuff that were kind of not that good because of no idea. So then we might have to start seeing some more weapons protection again. I think the Hitco is going to be good. I'm excited about that. I think it's got good puller. You can pull the 2-0 now. You lose Wisa but that's a good trade-off, and that also then lets you get a battleground Death Star site. I think that's cool that it's a Death Star 2 site, so there's going to be some interaction between Brigham and that. The problem is Brigham can't capture Luke until they win 3 battles, so I almost wish the dark side of that text said something like something about being able to capture Luke if he's on the Death Star, regardless of opponent's objective. Something like that. So if Luke goes to that site and it's Brigham just gets to capture him. Because that's so thematic with the movie. Like, in the movie, Luke goes to give himself up. So if he goes to give himself up on the Death Star, Dark should just be able to capture him the way they do against any other deck, except Hitco. And so then Hitco would know that's a liability and potential thing, and it would make that 2-2 site a little more interesting, I think. The Inquisitors are cool. I miss Rops. I would like to see Rops get a little help, because I think a Inquisitor Rops could be funny. Shadow Collective, a lot of the cards I haven't fully wrapped my head around. So, like Shadow Collective, trying to figure out all the little stuff that goes with that. How it's like flips and then flips back on one turn, and you can use an interrupt to like flip it. And yeah, no, you're right, Justin. Hitco wouldn't play that site versus Brigham, but if that's their only battleground site, there's the Ewok Village, but then they're restricted to just the Ewok Village, right? Because they're not playing Wisa for Battle Planes anymore. And so basically Brigham, by doing that, says, all right, we're gonna make the fight. You're gonna have to fight me at the Ewok Village. Because otherwise Light can be like, oh, you took the Ewok Village? I'll just go over to my 2-2 site and then threaten to invade your throne room. And that should be a liability against Brigham. If Luke goes there, he gets captured. Which is pretty fair, because that's the whole point of Brigham before me anyway, is to capture Luke. Let's see. What are some of the other stuff? Let me pull up a V13 thing real quick. The spoilers. Let me talk a little more about what's going on in this game, and then I'll do that. So Light side on their turn, Dark had just played the Ozlin drawn. Light side pulled the site, pulled Luke with the saddle site, and then deployed Rose, deployed Rey, did a use pile pull, and then deployed BB-8. So I'm guessing the use pile pull was for BB-8. Now Light is going to be able to drain for 1, 2 after they flip. They're going to retrieve 1 with Rose, and they're going to ping 1 with BB-8. Interestingly, Dark pulled Resistance. Bastian was thinking about that pull with the Luke's Hut, and I was saying pull code clearance. It makes Jedi Lev shut off General Leia and Rose if he uses it lost. But he opted for Resistance in case Light is draining 3 either here, +1 with the objective, or at Jakku if the Falcon's there. I think those are the only places on the board Light could drain for 3. Or if it got Saw here to negate the Force Drain -1. But otherwise, yeah, so I think he pulled Resistance to limit those 2 drains, but I don't know that it'll be needed for a long time. I think Code Clearance might have been better. There's still no battle order battle plan. Neither player wants it right now, so Dark drains for free for 1 at Mustafar. I like the new Maul. I thought Lando V back in the day was really fun. Like when it was the ridiculous OMG V8, all the indoor buddy interrupts and stuff, and Dark would start the security tower and pull Lando and just use him to manipulate all game. I thought that was fun. It adds lots of interesting possibilities and calculations, you know, when you're like, okay, they can add or subtract 1 to this. So, and I think Maul's a pretty big cost, you know, giving up that persona. And he can only deploy to non-battlegrounds, and you know he's very restricted, which I think is good because it's powerful text. But yeah, I think that's a neat card. It'll be fun to see how that plays out. So Dark does not opt to go for their own Republica site. They might have if Rose and BB-8 hadn't been there, like. But I think they're like, nah, that's going to give you too much to let you retrieve, let you ping. I want to go ahead and just take that site, kill all that stuff. So they're going to deploy a bunch of troopers and do a trooper assault. Light side was not able to grab it last turn because they used all their force. They're going to have Elsic, which is handy. He'll cover all the battle damage and attrition if there's a lot. If say Finn reacted and the adder was played, it obviously won't be now because Elsic, but that's nice. Oh, that would be cool. Justin suggested Stunning Leader blowout coming. If let's see, any leaders would be excluded. None of these are leaders, so it would be Rey or Rose and BB-8 versus all the troopers. So it'd be power 19. 23 with a trooper assault versus 2. Yeah, I doubt he's playing Stunning Leader, but that'd be kind of cool. I mean, it does work at both these sites. They are both interior. Let's see. V13. What was the full text? Full spoiler list. All right, so we got a battle. Light side goes ahead and flips. That way they will get their redraw started. They will get the drain +1 started. And limit attrition to -5. So now they were all immune, but now they are immune less than 5 because of the trooper assault. Light grabs the trooper assault. Additionally, sometimes you wait to flip because you're worried about weapons. There's not going to be any weapons in this dark side. So, oh, Justin with a good call there. It is a Stunning Leader battle. So it's power 24-2. 24 and a Destiny. They forfeit for 4 and 2. So 6 forfeit. So they cover 8. So 20. So it's a difference of 16 and the dark side's Destiny. So Light needs a Hujix here. Yeah. If they have the escape pod combo, they don't have a force to play it because they grabbed, and that happened before the Stunning Leader. That's Justin had it versus Greg. Overflow Rose, steal BB-8, transfer to Yasan. It's kind of not that great. Too cute. Seem to Bastian says, oh wait, we just got to concede. Which is not good with the whole differential thing. Yeah, Mighty Maul just says GG, and Bastian says, oh, you don't have a Hujix, and he says GG. So, yeah, he would have peeled 16 plus a Destiny. It would have been hard to get him down, to get Bastian down more, especially with the ISB ping retrieval. Darkseid has 28 in life force. He might have got him down to like 24 because Dark's just going to start steamrolling. I mean, he could have got him down more, I guess. But Dark getting domination retrieval and getting ISB retrieval throughout the rest of the game is going to make it hard for Light to really get them down a whole lot more in force. So probably won't matter a ton, and even if we go to a 3-3 tie. Well, cool. We saw some cool tech that Justin did against Greg. I missed that that game, and then we saw Bastian do that stunning leader blowout. That's pretty cool. Oh, Bastian asked, did you have the Hujix puller? And he was wondering, even though he didn't have the force, and Mighty Maul says no. Yeah, and Bastian same. Both the sites are interior, so that opens up that stunning leader blowout possibility. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure Bastian was watching Justin's game and was like, hey, I like that. Let me see about that. So, all right, that's 2 points for Bastian's team. Team Canadian and somebody walk into a bar. Canadian, German, and Brit walk into a bar. Now has 2 points. The next game is in just over an hour. It is at 4 p.m. Eastern. It is a Jawa match game between Silverglen, Mr. Justin Branch, and his opponent playing the Jawa match on the other team is Alex 1, aka Alex. They are playing game 1 today at 4 Eastern, and game 2 will be tomorrow. So if Silverglen wins game 1 today, that'll put the pressure on the other team to have to win out to bring it to a tie. So yeah, Bastian grabbing a huge lead for his team. Cool. All right, guys. I will be streaming the next game. It is a Jawa Cup game, so we'll see some different stuff other than, we won't see Legend again. We won't see ISB, that sort of stuff. We'll see some different decks and see what they chose for Jawa Cup in about an hour. All right, see ya.